Wherever it is you are reaching us from around the world, I make you welcome. This is Enterprise Weekend, reaching you from Enterprise Television. My name is Henry Igwebike. Let's kickstart today with our newspapers to see through all that we have coming from our newspapers, and right after that will be conversation also for today. Do well to be part of what we do. Have a say in what we say. You can find us when you visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. Very so honored to have with me, joining me right here in our studios from our headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria, Barrister Vance Ofeli, Barrister, Law Public Affairs Analyst, to see through all that we have from our newspapers and possibly right into our main conversation for today. Good morning, Barrister, and thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you so very much. All right, so let's kickstart today with the first daily on our desk. This is coming from the Saturday Punch newspaper. A litany of interesting stories here. And of course, Governor Amuneke, the comedian, he said here, I use comedy to expose what government hides. And right below that story, exposed the inside illegal Lagos Nursing College run by a poultry farmer. And we equally have other interesting stories here. Digital PMs and Nigeria's booming sex economy, where syndicates use tech to trap youths. And we equally have other interesting stories in education. I mopped floor to pay my way through school. Unilorry first class a graduate. But let's go for the big elephant in the room here. Trump hammers again. Nigeria. Amid visa clampdown, U.S. President blacklists Nigeria over alleged Christian genocide. Trump decision split America's lawmakers, politicians, and bishops. Barrister Vance Ofeli, the second time in a row. The first time was in 2020. Right at the time he was about to continue. Of course, that was altered when Joe Biden came and took that away from Nigeria. And now we have it yet again, which would last till 2028. How bad is this situation for Nigeria?
Well, which side of it are you talking about?
I'm talking about the clampdown on Nigeria being blacklisted now as a country of particular concern.
Well, it's not a blacklist. It's a blacklist. A blacklist will mean you are blacklisting the country and making it known to the public that perhaps it's a dangerous country, or is a country that is infested with a particular disaster or ailment or whatever it is. When they say country is of a particular concern, it's not blacklist. It's that the country has been flagged as a danger zone, okay, wherein Islamic sects, fundamentalists, are killing Christians. So, if you call it is it blacklist as the right word?
Yeah, because if you take a look at the resultant effects of some of them, so one of them is diplomatic pressure, economic measures, international perception. Countries wouldn't want to come invest in Nigeria. Investors, the FDIs, wouldn't come to Nigeria.
Very well, very well. So now, but the Trump's approach right now is remedial, because it's asking two of the senators to look into the issue and get back to him. I mean, congressmen. And the approach here is to find solution to the problem, not to identify and discard the solution. Yes, it's to find a solution to the problem. A country of particular concern will mean that perhaps they could use the UN to intervene. They could use any of the bodies responsible for international peacekeeping and all that, or they could use any of the international instruments to bring normalcy to the situation. That's what is going on. It's not that Nigeria is being blacklisted in quote, like you cannot. It's a situation that cannot be remedied. Trump is pro the Christian race. Yes, so he's saying that if you read the portion, he said that Americans cannot just sit back and watch that going on, that there's a need to, because it's about terrorism. I know that America fights terrorism all over the world, not just in America. America is against terrorism. So it's a good one that is stepping into the fray right now, especially because when there's this pastor in Jos, whom his members were killed, and he refused to leave his church burnt and everybody displaced, and he refused to leave the site. Now, the names of those victims have been, written somewhere. And he was there yesterday making statements and calling the names of those who have been killed as a result of this very dangerous situation. So, part of what happened, part of what led to this degeneration of insurgency was what happened during the time of Jonathan, wherein that the opposition, the current APC now, opposition, had thought that Jonathan would not relinquish power. And we went about the likes of El-Rufai. It's in public domain now, so I can talk about it. Well. El-Rufai, Buhari himself, some of the chieftains of the APC and the rest of them went and brought these very fierce, dangerous terrorists across all the African, from Senegal to Burkina Faso to Mali, brought them in to come and fight against Jonathan's will to relinquish power, because they didn't think he would do that. Why they had brought these people in, just before the result was announced in 2015, Jonathan had called Buhari and congratulated him. And so, when they won, they now abandoned the people they brought in to come and fight. So it was those people that now, if you remember, the first statement they made against terrorism when they came in 2015 was that those people are not from Nigeria. They know where they brought them in from. Now, they had empowered them and all that, so they abandoned them. So they now decided to unleash terror.
Not just on Christians, actually.
Not just on Christians. But Christians are the worst hit. Because when you look at it, how did it start? How did it start in 2001? They were going to hit churches. They would run into churches and all that. They would run. I mean, I wasn't just then. So we were actually victims. We were the first set of victims. The whole of Angwarugo and part of Bauchi Road and the other were all born. Most of our students were killed. People in final year, my classmates, some of them. So we've seen that happen. We've seen that happen over and over again. And it's a very dangerous situation. As we speak now, it has gone out of hand. You understand? Because if you want to place it, I don't want to go religious. Because if you want to place Christians and Muslims, who is the worst hit, we'll see that they hit both sides, but one is actually larger than the other. And it's a situation where that the whole world needs to look into, because it's getting out of hand.
Very so true. It's unfortunate. I do not know, I stand to be corrected, if this current administration understands the gravity of this, because the last time it happened somewhere in Africa, in Sudan particularly, from 1999 to 2005, that led to the creation of Southern Sudan.
Yes, Southern Sudan.
Majorly Christian-dominated area, because of the mayhem that was happening in South Sudan.
Yes.
So that led to the independence of South Sudan.
Yes, and the creation of that country, immediately the UN approved it.
Yeah, immediately.
It was justified.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Very true. So that's why I think it's so very important that this administration should not take this lying low. And
I do not think they are taking this serious. I don't think so. You know why I say I don't think so? The government is investing more in propaganda to suppress it rather than look into how to find a solution to it. They just change service chiefs. Every time we have successive service chiefs, the story is still the same. The NSA, we don't know what they are doing, okay? Because it keeps growing. Today we are having multi-layers of insurgent groups, from the Lakurawas to the
Wulu Wulu,
the new one. All of them at the same time multiplying. So to what end? How long are we going to be doing this? How long are we going to keep patching this? You understand? The world seems to have gone ahead of Nigeria. And it's unfortunate, very, very unfortunate that people have been displaced. But this government seems not to be doing anything about it. The National Assembly is not even, there's no special committee or any special issue on the matter under reference. So it took an American journalist, that was invited by Reno Omokri, who thought they were going to change the story. The guy exposed everything, okay? And today, the matter has gotten to the decks of the President of America, and he tweeted yesterday on the issue. Now, Nigeria is a state of particular concern, which means that it needs solution, it needs remedy, it needs rescue. And from the standpoint of the President of America, it is that to rescue Christians. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So whatever the crisis is to rescue Christians. That's what is it about.
Yes,
but
because,
very,
very well said. Because someone who was analyzing it on a legacy media station in the U.S. said that even if it means getting the boots on the ground, that the United States might consider that as an option, actually, just to rescue, Christians who have been, devastated.
There are many kind of solutions. Yes. Whichever one they want to adopt is welcome.
All right, so let's see how that goes, though. Unfortunately, our 10th assembly, led by Senate President Adewole Adebayo, is not saying anything about this, and it took the intervention of another senator in the U.S. to see to all of these things happening within our space. But let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper. Barrister, state creation, doubts, location, name may push back demands in the Southeast. It's no longer news that the 10th Assembly has approved about 6 new states. Amongst them is Anioma. And lots of going back and forth and lots of things. Speak to me. What's your take on this? Do you think it's a good development? Do you think people have not been carried along? What exactly do you think, particularly that of Anioma? What do you think is happening?
Well, I am not against Anioma State. Yes. I believe in Anioma State. What I don't believe in is Ned Nwoko's approach.
And what's the approach?
Of labeling the Ndokwa area of Delta State as Igbos. You can't label us.
Okay.
What the Constitution recognizes as Ndokwa Kwani Federal Constituency. And the language we speak is Kwani.
Okay.
Not Igbo or Igbo.
Okay.
You understand? Linguistic affinity, or consanguinity does not really in itself stipify that we are Igbos, we are Okwane, we are Ndokwa. I mean, that is what we speak, that is the language we speak. So, not like if you call us Igbo, it makes us less of Ndokwa, or it makes us less of Okwane. But just that we must appropriate the right terms at every point. For me, for the sake of correctness and for the sake of being fair and upright, integrity is what I'm talking about here. We should be called who we are. From 1939, even the colonial master recognizes us as such. The Willings Commission dealt with the issue. The Constitution itself, appropriate that. So I welcome the Anioma State. Very, very important. It is critical that we have it. But you see, when you look at the underlying motivation of some of these politicians, it's about the Ndokwa area.
It's about the Ndokwa area.
Yeah, that is the most viable.
What is it really about?
Yes,
the Ndokwa area?
It has the highest gas deposits in the whole of West Africa.
Okay.
It has 8 parental oil companies running concurrent. So if you must go to have anything in Anioma State, Ndokwa must be the capital. Otherwise, there's no deal. That's the truth.
So it won't be Asaba?
No. Why should it be Asaba?
Because Asaba is still the most developed. Because if
Asaba have no drop of oil.
But when it was first created, it would have gone to Warri, but they allowed it in Asaba.
That was
because it was a little bit of
no, it was military fiat.
An easy way of
No, it was military fiat. It was a military fiat. The reason it came to Asaba was Miriam Babangida, who happens to be the wife of. That's the reason. There's no other reason. It was Whaley that it was first proposed, and then Warri. Then before it was set to do. But if you're having Anioma, Asaba is not a viable place in terms of resource. Ndokwa is the hub. Okay, I mean, Ndokwa feeds with gas production alone feeds 8 states.
So the fracas now, yes. So the fracas now is about where the state capital should be located. Not that the Ndokwa people are against being part of the Anioma.
No, I'm the one stating that.
Oh, okay.
That the capital should be Ndokwa. Yeah, okay. Because there's no other place it should be. You are proposing Asaba, or you're asking Asaba. Yes. Asaba is not the point of resource. I mean, you will have to consider the fact that Ndokwa have been long neglected in the former structure.
Yes.
So if you're going to have new structure, you must factor into it the way to compensate it. You understand? And that is to make sure the headquarter goes there. Because the truth is that if you remove Ndokwa from that Anioma construct, it's not a viable state.
But you are okay with the Anioma state?
Very well.
And you are okay with it being located in the southeast? Because of course, if it will be created,
if it will be created,
co-joined with the Southeast.
If it will be created,
yes,
the agreement is that it will be joined with the Southeast.
Yes.
Okay. You see, the issue of Southeast, South, Southwest, and the rest of that are just social and expressive delineations. It's not recognized by the Constitution.
Okay.
They are just expressions for political and then for developmental projects. Okay, if we have one in the South Side, let us have one in this place. It does not in any way mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, we can be in South Side, we can be in Southeast. I mean, before the regionalism structure then we had in 1963, at the beginning, you understand, we were at the Eastern region.
Everyone was
the Eastern region. You remember?
Yeah.
Then the plebiscite now brought the Midwestern region. Then we Edo and all pulled out. And so, does it even matter where we are? I mean, people say the Southeast is landlocked. If I lynch there, it's no longer landlocked. You understand? So, but my concern is, see, my only objection is not Nwoko's approach on Ndokwa in terms of linguistic and ethnic affinity. That's my own. You don't label people in their absence without consulting them. You can't know the people more than they themselves. So, Anioma State is critical. It's going to be very viable. Okay. That's the truth. It has huge population, 9 local governments. Okay, we're even bigger than Bayelsa. As currently, yes, Bayelsa is local government.
True.
And landmass is bigger. So Delta North, as we speak today, is bigger than Bayelsa State. And we have tableland. When you say tableland, where the upland, offshore, is stable, flat land for investors to come and site factories. And the areas, the offshore areas, I mean, in water areas, we have, waterways through which they can take products out, after production. So it's a very strategic place. Then talk about gas, talk about oil. And then the most important, talk about the people. The Ndokwa man is ready to pack out from his house to house a visitor and then go find where to stay. That's the Ndokwa man for you. The Ndokwa man is very self-reliant and very accommodating. He wants peace at all times. That's who the Ndokwa person is. So apart from all the mineral resources, the strategic location, all that, the most striking of all is the human resources, the human person of Ndokwa. Very welcoming. So it's going to be a very viable state. And it's going to be one of the best states in the country if it's achieved. Even though Canada, Okonkwo and the rest have argued that Adada state, right?
Yeah.
Should be the state that should make up the 6 states in the Southeast. But the truth is that even if whether Adada or Anioma, there's still going to be imbalance.
Yes.
Because the Southwest has 7.
Yes.
It's
6 more states. So it goes round to the Southeast.
Yeah, so I would have suggested, if I were in the house, I would have suggested that Adada and Anioma.
Just to balance.
Yeah, balance. Then every other region will bring out one. Let's solve the problem once and for all. Like if it will even pass, so because the state creation.
Well, it is likely not to, because
approval is not enough.
Yes.
Approval is not enough. Okay, why don't we do it once and for all? If it's going to fail, let it fail. If it's going to pass, let it pass. Adada and Anioma, put it in the Southeast. Fine. There's no problem about that. But you also know that if you take away Ndokwa from the South,
okay,
they will be short of 1 state. Yes.
Because it's 6 more states that will be okay. Yeah, it will be short.
Yeah, they'll be short of 1 now. Yeah. So you now need 1 from South again. Then you now need you need 2 in South because you will replace Delta and you add another one for you to have 7. Then you go to Northeast to add 1.
And do same.
Then you go around. So would I even bring this thing? At the end of the day, because the Willis Commission says that this further state creation will create new minorities. And that's the truth. Because see, by the time they put us in this annual thing, I'm just telling you that some years down the line, you might start to hear of Ndokwa State.
Because they might feel marginalized by a larger.
Yes. That's why. See, that's why I wittingly say that the capital should go there. Anything that makes the capital to go out of that place would mean the next day after approval, we will start to ask for Anambra State. That's the truth. Sorry, we'll start to ask for Ndokwa State. So the capital should go there at least to placate the situation. They should apply wisdom in this thing. You cannot create it. If you don't take it there, there will be problem. All
right, let's see how that goes, though. What Nigerians are more concerned about is development. And it doesn't really matter if we have one state or how many states. It's about returns. It's about dividends of democracy, if it will definitely get to the people. But just before we leave for this segment, Barrister, let's talk about other matters. Saturday Vanguard newspaper, and this crisscrosses to the same story we have here. 2025 fiscal banking. Anambra, Enugu, Abia, Kwara shine in budget report. Of course, budget is a very trusted civil society organization that takes care of finances and prudence in different states in Nigeria. And, you know, we're talking about Delta State. Unfortunately, Delta State is not captured here amongst the states that the budget have reported that there is a bit of prudence in the management of their finances. So do you really think that, you know, just for us to maybe, you know, transition to the next segment, all of this state creation thing and governors not managing their resources well, does it really make any sense at the end of the day?
Yeah, you see, part of the problem we have has to do with the regions, the states. You know, if you have a state that the state government is not managing the resources very well, you will see the effect. You will see the effect on the citizens. Okay. In Delta State, for example, Okwane local government. That Okwane local government have a budget of 18 billion for
18
this.
billion for this year, 2025.
Yes, you understand. As we speak now, they don't know the performance level. You understand? Some person just approached me. We're talking about the issue. Now, there's already a presentation for the next year's budget going on. You understand? And the 18 billion, the audit report of how that fund has been spent and the rest of that is not yet before the councillors. It's not yet before them because I communicate with them. And many of them are, you know, objecting to the presentation of the next year budget, having not seen the performance of this year's budget and the milestones.
But who's responsible for that? Is it the local government chairman?
Local government chairman, yeah, that's all. So he just prepared the budget for next year and hand over to the councillors. But the expenditure for this year's budget and all that, the framework, audit report, and this thing, so that they can know the milestone, know how many percent performance and all that. It's not yet before Parliament, that is the councillors, at the local government level. And then you are doing another one for the next year. You understand? So, the same thing applies to other local government areas. My own local government, I know it will be worse, even though they hid information from me in Ndokwa West. That's my own local government. But I got Ndokwa, I got Okwane already, and I will get Ndokwa East. You understand? So, there is a need for, I mean, budget did a report and they map out states.
Yes.
You understand? That have diligently applied their resources. But you can see states that have not been managing their resources well, there are very many. You know, states that keep buying cars. Is Benue State there?
At all.
They keep buying cars and material acquisition.
Unfortunately, Lagos is not even part of the state.
It's not part of it. You understand? So there is no gainsaying that most states in Nigeria, our resources are not properly managed. Not properly managed. The local governments, I mean, ask me how many local governments are viable. What are they doing? When they collect revenue, they pay salary, pay traditional rulers. There's no project ongoing in local government. No viable project going on in local government. My own local government, there's nothing going on. Just our salary and nothing. Then the next thing, you billboard all over the place. There are pictures and that. They're adding their wife's picture now. So I don't know that is a project. Is this a project too? We don't know.
Very despicable, really. And I think a budget should step it up a notch, you know, and maybe we need to really do some fact finding here, because of development actually starts from the grassroots, and the local government areas is what it is. The wards is what it is. If we don't get it right from the local government areas, we might not get it right at the state and the national level. A barrister will still be here to take us on our main conversation when we return. Adebayo slams Tinubu over 15% fuel import duty, wants a possible oxygen tax. That's in a bit. Enterprise Weekend it is. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Thank you so very much for joining us, and this is Enterprise Weekend. Let's move straight to our conversation for today. The 2023 presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Prince Adewole Adebayo, has condemned President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's approval of a 15% import duty on refined petroleum products, calling it exploitative and anti-people. Speaking in an interview, Adebayo accused the president of prioritizing revenue collection over citizens' welfare, warning that if unchecked, Tinubu's administration might soon impose taxes on virtually everything, even the air that we breathe. He said the new tariff was inconsistent with the progressive ideals of Tinubu once represented, arguing that the government now sees Nigerians as customers rather than citizens. Let's get talking. I still have with me Barrister Vance Ufeli. Barrister, let's get talking on this. And Adebayo, the man on the reference here, said when during the days of Abiola, current president Bola Ahmed Tinubu then, was championing the cause of Nigerians getting relief of so many things, and now it's a different thing altogether.
Yes, I agree with you when he says that if we allow the president to continue this way, he may one day levy tax on oxygen, the air we breathe. I agree with you because it's getting out of hand. The report says that the 15% levy on importation of diesel and fuel is to protect indigenous refineries. Local refineries.
Yes.
I am wondering, this local refinery that you want to protect, have you found out whether their existence and their capacity is sufficient to give Nigerians the required product that they need to function all day, all year, all months? You understand? Because when you are saying that you are imposing 15%, it looks like you're talking about like the foreigners that are importing this into the country. They're importing it because the private refineries is not able to cater for the entire need. Okay, there's still a window out there when marketers bring in this product and all that. So if you invoke that tax on them and they go ahead to still bring them in, you don't think they will pass the cost inflation on the product to the market, to the public? You understand? So that's what the man is saying. That this government see Nigerians as customers instead of citizens. We are not customers. We are citizens of Nigeria. And our rights and obligation, is critical. Our rights as citizens. So that 15% is so unnecessary. Given that this government knows that it plunged Nigeria into serious hardship with this same fuel when it removed subsidy thoughtlessly. Now, things seems to be stabilizing because we have gone through so much hardship to the point where we are trying to gain control of that sector, you are now bringing 15% tariff on it again. Remember, there's an international 15% tariff. You understand? And you are bringing another one again for goods coming in and the rest of that. So that's in America. So, see, this whole thing is not adding up. It's not making sense. It's not making sense. If government is saying that it wants to allow the forces of demand and supply to determine price of fuel and diesel and the rest of that, why should the federal government still be found around, taxing the process? Why?
So don't you think that is part of the fiscal policy? Because fiscal policy is helped or meant to balance, trade and ensure that Nigerians don't get shortchanged and all that. So don't you think the government is applying what it knows how to do?
Well, it's supposed to balance trade, but why are you putting 15% tariff? Why? Because what it means is that you are now going to make it impossible for those that want to import.
Yes, because that's what the desire is actually.
Yes, that's what the desire is. But the local refineries, are they able to produce what the country needs in its entirety? That's my question.
Well, Dangote has always said that he has the capacity to
give
Nigerians. He wants to expand to a 1.5 million barrels.
Yes, and what I'm saying, in the long run, is that sufficient to service the entire country before other private refinery arrives? If the answer is yes, then the policy we can say, okay. But those who have the motivation to be importing, there's a market they are servicing. That's what I'm saying. There's a market they are servicing. Is that market outside Nigeria or within Nigeria? So who are the people buying from them? If you say Dangote is self-sufficient or will be self-sufficient, is it already self-sufficient? And if it is, these marketers that are importing, who are they selling to?
But Barrister, let's of course play a devil advocate here. I would love you to place yourself in the shoes of Dangote. You've invested close to $20 billion in a refinery. You've gone through so much, the battle between marketers and all that. And of course, the biggest market you have is your country, the citizens in your country. Don't you think you'll be excited that the president of the day would impose a 15% tariff so as to at least allow you...
I will be excited.
Yes.
I will be excited if I am able to provide the capacity, the entire need of the country. Is it doing that? That's what I'm asking. It's not enough to say there will be 15% tariff and all that. What Dangote is giving the country as we speak now, is he able to give the country 100%? Because I know it's not only Dangote fuel that they are selling. It's not only Dangote fuel that are selling. So if Dangote is able to give the country 100%, why is it that other these things are still ongoing? They are complementing what he's doing. That's what I think. So by the time you put the tariff and they're not able to even work again, will Dangote go round? That's just what I'm asking for. That's what I want to know. And to also know that monopoly is not good anywhere in the world. Even if Dangote is going around, allow that window, that small window for this thing, for competition, so that price will not be determined by autocracy. It might be good and well today. We don't know what the future will be when only one source now have to service an entire country. You know what that is. So I think that parallel production we are having through import is a healthy way of competing with the primary. So don't kill them. Let them keep doing business until they are tired, until when Dangote overwhelms them. That's better than to, create bad blood between them and Dangote. The competition is now unhealthy. And when they get this product in, and in the place that Dangote is not able to supply, where they supply, price will be up.
Because the truth of the
matter
is...
They have their own business.
Yes.
They have their own customers.
Yes, definitely. Because the truth of the matter is LPG, which is cooking gas, went from 11,000, 12,000 naira to 19,000 naira And up
for
until
12 kg.
Yes, for 12.5 kg. Up until now, that is what the cost is.
That's what it is.
You could imagine what people who are into restaurants, people who are into other big businesses that they need LPG will be going through just to allow this.
They will pass that cost inflation to their customers. That's what they will do. So this man is saying the president should not see Nigerians as customers, but as citizens. So you have tax on so many things already. For me, this president should take his hand off anything tax as it relates to petroleum product, because the hardship it caused through the subsidy is gone. The mark is still the suffering is still there. The hangover is still there. You should not mention anything levy again on fuel or whatever it is, or diesel. It should not. Let it be like that. Let them, because the 15%, is that what you're going to change Nigeria? Or the revenue you're going to get for that 15% will not change the country overnight or pay its debts or what? I think this is unnecessary.
Because they're actually saying that when the 15% is made possible, in a year they would make about 4.1 trillion naira.
It's not about making 4.1 trillion. What now happens to the market, the people? We're not customers. We are citizens.
Very true. All right, so just before we leave for now, Barrister, let's go a little bit into persona here. Psychologists and neuroscientists have called it the Dunning-Kruger effect, when people think they know and they don't know. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in that sect of people who feel they know but they don't know to an extent. He is still the substantive Minister of Petroleum Resources, and everything rests on his desk. And he finds it very difficult to even solve this little problem. So speak to me on our selection of leadership in this country, both from the president to the councillor. Why have we gotten it so bad that we keep having the wrong people administering intelligent people in Nigeria?
We've gotten it so wrong because our electoral system is not in order. The way Tinubu emerged is still questionable today. You see, he emerged through a questionable means. So that answers the question, because it was not through legitimate means. I mean, it's questionable. How be it that INEC pronouncing president and the rest of that, it wasn't fit for the job. Okay. We've also had, just like him, like many of his ministers too, not really savvy and positioned to do things very well. National Assembly it's not doing the oversight function. The oversight responsibility is supposed to deploy, in the natural workings of things, not doing that. So at the end of the day, which among them really can we say that will have the appropriate kind of leadership? Is it the traditional rulers, is it the local government chairman or the governors? The governors were supposed to be our hope in these times of need, wherein the president have reduced these subsidy funds into packs and shared it among them. Now, they were supposed to in turn make it reflect the life of their citizens, of their different states. But no, they started jumping on top themselves and started defecting from their party to the president's party, because, to them, it's about party. It's about politics. Governance is not in view. You understand? Governance is not in view. Have you ever seen the budget of your state? I've never seen the budget of that state as I'm talking to you. Not just this administration, previous one and successive. I've never seen it. I was able to get hold of a local government budget. But for the state budget itself, have you ever seen it? They don't publish it, except for Lagos State.
Yes, Lagos does that. You can always have it on the open domain.
Yeah, Lagos State. But for Delta and so many other states, have you ever seen it? They guard it like the budget is the spirit. They don't want you to know what they budgeted, and don't want you to read through and check performance vis-a-vis the budget. They don't want you to do all that. So, government that runs in secrecy, even when the Constitution says that they should be accountable to their people. So, with that kind of leadership, you are not able to. They claim they know, as you talk about the Kroger effect.
Yes.
But they don't know because government is supposed to operate like a partnership between the governed and the leaders. The leaders and the led, there's supposed to be a partnership. The led are supposed to know the direction of things and all that. It's not like that. No transparency, no accountability. So when you don't have transparency, you don't have accountability. How do you move forward? How do you, when you have challenges, how do you communicate it to the people when they don't know the budget, they don't have any information? So it's a sorry situation, to say the least.
Very so true. We just have to leave it at this point. Unfortunately, Nigerians are still with this pain for as long as this administration continues. We do not know if the president would retract, this 15% thing, just like he did for the clemency. We don't know if he will do that because, of course, we have come to see a president who is a bit impulsive. He makes decisions and maybe retracts it a bit. But let's see how that goes, though. It's a developing story. And we will definitely let you have it right here on Enterprise Television. Thank you so very much, Barrister.
My pleasure.
For being here. All right, people, that's just about the time we have. We'd love to say thank you for making this a date. Please do well to visit us. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwe. You can have yourself a splendid weekend, and I'll see you at the other side. Bye-bye.